Hi, well, in this video, this is day 6 of board and training with Conrad, and Conrad has come along very, very well. Now in this video, I want to show the level of agreeableness, how it's actually increasing substantially since day 1. Again, I encourage you to go back and watch day 1, hour 1 of the process in terms of just how unagreeable Conrad was based on level of control he had coming directly from a rescue situation to the board and train process. Now here, I'm going to be, again, just focusing in on the basic method through interactions, these specific interactions that change the perception of dog to owner, in this case trainer, and transferring over to owner for the process. And as I'm moving, again, you're going to see, again, I encourage you to really do a comparison as to just how much more agreeable Conrad has become based on just week 1 of the process. Now, the focal point is on relationship change, so it's all about understanding, again, what the method's doing in terms of changing perception of the dog, how that connects to diminishment of unwanted behavior by way of a dog releasing control. So it's all about a type of power play situation based on dogs as social animals, but it's based on the context of what's reasonable, okay? The reasonableness of these interactions. The focus is on wanting the dog to come into, being motivated to come into agreement with these, again, based on what they represent. So as I move here, again, I'm going to be moving with Conrad. So as I'm moving, okay, I'm going to be stopping along the way to put him into, to interact with him. You see certain positions taking place, but again, the focus just isn't on the sit. Okay, the sit can look really good and create a really a good picture, but it's based on, again, the interactions themselves. Okay, what they represent. So again, this is why when I'm moving forward here, I'm stopping along the way, creating a type of hard stop situation. Moving forward again, stopping, putting them in, forward. Back in, forward, again back in, then I'm going to move with him, now here's something you're going to see, okay, it's starting to take place, is as I'm moving, doing what I call the circle method, you see him with his head turned in for contact. I'm asserting, I'm moving against him with my knee a little bit. And it's very interesting because you'll look at that and say, well, why would a dog want to be, someone make contact with him that way? Well, because it's based on control. Okay, it's based on him beginning to be more agreeable. And so he's moving his head in, and I'm making a little bit of contact as I'm kind of moving him back a little bit as I'm coming into contact with him. But he's becoming agreeable, so it's like he wants it because it's helping to take stress off him. It's actually de-stressing him. Yeah. Putting the down position. He's still moving out slightly from this, okay? Now what you'll see here, and again, this is about feedback, but what you'll see happen, again, as things continue to move forward, is what I'm looking for is more of a prone, him going more prone on me here. Now, let's see, it's interesting. Still having a reaction to that because, again, the way this interaction represents, he's still in conflict with it somewhat, and so he's going to the side a little bit. But here's the thing, it's not about a pretty picture. That will line up on its own. He'll start to become more agreeable, and therefore translates into more of a prone position, okay, which gives me information, okay, that he's released even more control. So when the dog is going to its side, here's the thing, I can use a treat and establish a better position, but it doesn't mean I'm establishing a better relationship by way of the dog releasing control. Okay, so it's all context. So understand that you want to make sure that when you're doing this, it's lining up the way that I'm showing. Same thing, move forward with him. Here's the other thing that's going to start to happen. You'll see, as I'm moving forward, is a default sit. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate that as I move forward here, which means he's going into a sit automatically on his own. As I'm coming to a stop, tapping the leash. And here I'll tap it enough for him to go into the sit. And the idea here is for the more I slow down and come to a stop, I want him to start to sit on his own. Okay, but again, I'm putting him under influence. I'm doing it. I'm nudging him, so I'm communicating with him that, hey, I come to a full stop. I want you to come into a sit position. But the sit position this way translates into ultimately him releasing control the right way. So he's not fading in. You're just not doing a position to do a position so it can look a certain way, right? It's about his state of mind. Okay, it's about, you know, him saying, you know what, Dale's in control here, me fading in the right way. This is about how I'm using the leash and how I'm communicating with him through the leash. There's times, again, I want to assert, really specific, right in, okay, right? I'm going to do the push-pull, do another down with him. Down, do another little push-pull, back up into a sit. That's the other thing, too, when you start to do the sit, notice I'm not putting as much influence on him. He's starting to initiate coming up. This is where you get into doing some multiple sits here just with the leash. Down. Sit. Tap the leash a little bit. So all to say, doing really well. The whole thing here is, again, focusing in on the integrity of the core method, okay? Again, short leash work, you know, focused on, again, specific interactions that I'm doing over and over again. The agreeableness level is going way up. So again, do a comparison, because everything branches off from this. So everything I'm doing, so for example, if I'm really focused on the integrity of the method when I'm doing it, that I know stepping into a different situation, say with another dog, again, you see the videos of me working with Polly, and you'll see more videos of me working with her, even with her off leash. Stepping into certain situations, I already know that it's going to be pretty good, okay, based on what this represents. So it's, again, it's understanding the fundamentals of the method, what it's doing to change the perceptions of the dog, to get a dog to think different, to release control and fade me in, and then how that translates into everything else. It has a carryover effect. So you guys do very well. Day 6, still have another week to go. So, but again, based on the level of control that Conrad has, you know, doing really exceptional. So, again, it's not to say there's a lot more. Again, putting a lot more work into him as things move along. But, you know, getting that foundation stone. So the board train process is really about establishing the cornerstone of the relationship. Okay, it's really about, you know, the foundation of the relationship. You look at the issue of commands, okay, how that aligns. So starting to lean more on commands as the perceptions change. So right now it's a language of the method. So him coming to agreement. So he just does certain things based on understanding what I want, okay, based on what these represent, how they align. So just with commands, it's just a matter of me hooking a word on, right? And then as we enter a certain phase of the process, then I start to lean more on Okay, so it's all about following the sequence. Okay, the right order of things. Cleaning up the relationship first, then we can start to do other things that we want to do. Could be playing fetch with him, all sorts of fun activities. Okay, so this doesn't break the spirit of drive at all. Okay, this is about right relationship. This is about control, and then we can start